Hello everybody, my name is James, hope you're doing well and welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be talking about an update following quite a shocking moment involving Lewis Hamilton during practice in Melbourne, as well as some key updates from practice. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to leave a like and subscribe for more Formula 1 content. Also make sure to follow me on Instagram and X at James's Pit Lane. I'll leave links in the description, but let's jump straight into the video. So Friday practice in Melbourne has concluded. It's so good to see cars back out on track again. However, it wasn't good for Aston Martin. As we know, they've been facing so many issues with that Honda power unit in the back of the car, and while practice in Melbourne was not good for Aston Martin. I mean, in free practice 1, Fernando Alonso did not even get out on track due to a power unit issue, while Lance Stroll only did limited miles. Free practice 2 was better. Both Stroll and Alonso completed much more miles in their cars, but at the same time, they were so slow at the bottom of the timing sheets. Now, one of the key issues is that Honda's powertrain produces excessive vibrations when in operation, and these vibrations have been causing battery failures, and Aston Martin has stationed a number of staff at Honda's Sakura facilities in an effort to help turn around the situation. And now Aston Martin team principal Adrian Newey has revealed that the team has no more spare batteries for its Honda powertrains at the Australian Grand Prix, with Newey saying, as quoted by motorsport.com, "We've had a fresh problem of communication internally with the battery to its management system, but the much more underlying problem is the vibration issues that we continue to struggle with. We tried to do a different solution in Lance's car today. There's some analysis going on as we speak as to whether that's helped or not, and then depending on that analysis we'll define what we do for FP2. I think realistically, it's just trying to manage the problem. We're short on batteries. We've only got 2 batteries left, the 2 that are in the car. We lose one of those, then it's obviously a big problem. So you've got to be very careful on how we use the batteries." So yeah, Aston Martin are in for a tough start to the 2026 season. Now, further up the field, the top 4 teams are quite clearly still Mercedes, Ferrari, McLaren and Red Bull. But one thing to note is that McLaren and Red Bull did run into issues during practice in Melbourne. I mean, during free practice 1, McLaren's Oscar Piastri reported that something was not right with McLaren's power delivery, reporting he was idling but got no throttle, and then Piastri's teammate Lando Norris also hit teething issues with gear shifts, with the team eventually curtailing his session after just 7 laps to look into the gearbox. And as for Red Bull, we saw Max Verstappen going down the pit lane as free practice 2 began, but as he reached the end of the pit lane, he pulled over to the side. It looked like he lost revs and had to be pushed back to his garage. He did get back out on track again, however, he did have a big moment, with him going wide on the outside of turn 12 at Albert Park, and Verstappen was seen bouncing over the gravel with bits flying off the floor and underbody of his car, causing some damage. So yeah, not a smooth start for McLaren and Red Bull, but at the same time, they still look competitive, and McLaren's Oscar Piastri set the fastest time in free practice 2. I do think, however, it's going to be Mercedes and Ferrari fighting for the win and pole this weekend. Now, you wouldn't have thought that after free practice 1. I mean, while Ferrari had a 1 and 2 in that session, Mercedes were well off the pace. That was quite shocking, to be honest. However, it's quite clear they upped their speed for free practice 2, with the 2 Mercedes drivers going 2nd and 3rd, and the 2 Ferrari drivers going 4th and 5th, not far behind Mercedes. And I do feel because they set their fast lap times earlier than anyone else, they did not get the best of the track conditions, which is why neither a Mercedes or a Ferrari topped the timesheet in free practice 2. Now, in terms of Ferrari, there was an incident involving Lewis Hamilton, with him being forced to take evasive action during the second practice session in Australia. Basically, Hamilton was going down the start-finish straight when he came across Franco Colapinto, who was driving really slowly on the racing line. Basically, Colapinto was struck by a gear issue as he rounded the final corner, but instead of pulling to the right and off the racing line, he stayed put at low speed on the racing line, and Hamilton had a really limited window to move out the way, but did so in time to avoid a collision. The incident was referred to the stewards, and while they've decided to take no further action, with the stewards saying in their verdict, Colapinto explained that his car suffered a false neutral as he was approaching the final turn and lost drive as he turned onto the main straight. While the team were giving him instructions over the radio to attempt to resolve the issue, the driver kept his car rolling, slowly on the left of the main straight, having been instructed to do so by his team should he be unable to resolve the issue and the driver needed to stop the car. As Colapinto approached the control line, Colapinto was caught by Hamilton. While Hamilton had a clear line of sight of Colapinto for some distance along the main straight, Hamilton was apparently surprised to find Colapinto moving so slowly on the racing line and had to take evasive action to avoid a collision. Colapinto explained that he was watching his mirrors the whole time and knew that Hamilton was approaching. He said that he was instructed by the team to stay to the left because the race director's competition notes marks the exit point on the main straight on the left side of the track. He said that if he tried to move off the racing line when he had no drive, he could have created a more dangerous situation. The stewards were satisfied that there was nothing about Colapinto's driving which was erratic. Given his mechanical problem, he was not driving unnecessarily slowly. Given that the driver positioned his car to ensure that he could reach the designated exit point in the event that the problem with the car was not resolved before he reached it, the stewards did not consider that the actions of the driver were unsafe and therefore determined to take no further action. But that's going to be the video from me today. Thank you ever so much for watching. Make sure to like and subscribe for more videos, and until the next one, take care.